Hello and welcome to another video. This is the Bathtub. We've got a game for you this evening, or whenever you're watching it, called Not for Broadcast. I'll just have a quick read through on Steam for you. The National Nightly News is live, and you're the brains behind the scenes. Beep the swears, keep the cameras on the celebs, and keep the audience hooked in this darkly comedic game of televised chaos. Now, this is an interesting one because I did originally have the free prologue or demo of this a few years back or a couple of years back, and I thought it was really weird and put it down and didn't think anything of it. And then I was flicking through my Steam library and I saw the full game, and I never genuinely remember purchasing this. It was just there, so maybe I got it in some sort of bundle, or I genuinely don't know why I've got the full game, but I don't think I bought it, but I don't care. So I thought, alright, so although it's not strictly a new game, it came out in January this year. It's a game that I just wasn't expecting to even be able to play, so I'm going to review it. There are plenty of options here to customize your game, so if something is particularly annoying you about any of the features, then it's very tweakable just here, as you'll see. So don't worry if you want to change anything, because you probably can. Now I'm going to jump right in and say this is genuinely one of the best games I've ever played. It's completely unique. I don't think I've ever, well, certainly for anything I've played. And the fact that you're playing or monitoring and controlling effectively human actors of really good quality as well, and a good variation of them too, it just sums up how good this game truly is. So you take over from this Cockney geezer who was the former TV control room person. So you know when you watch the news and the camera pans to the different people in the audience, and then if they get someone in on, I don't know, on Zoom, they have to pan to them. So you're basically in charge of where to pan your camera initially, and you've got to keep the audience interested. That's ultimately the initial goal, and that's what it makes you think the game is all about. And it's really good fun at the start, don't get me wrong, and it really draws you into something unique, but the game develops into something huge. It's hilarious because of the sort of typical British comedy values involved. It's dark humoured, and it's genius in its comedy as well. I think so satirical, but there's so much politics behind it. So it not only follows your job taking over this chap called Dave, who just leaves you in the ship when he leaves the country, and you're left doing all of this, but it follows your life, and you have to make life decisions. It's all to do with the political party that takes over, very controversial, and your life is impacted by that. You make decisions around your family, around finance, around work, and those choices that you make, all multiple choice in a narrative situation, will affect the game and how people like you and sort of your own approval ratings within the country and or company even. Sorry, it's very deep in that sense. The game as a challenge does progress as well, so you learn how to put in the adverts of your choosing, and the adverts are all tied into the story. You have to make sure that you censor swear words, and eventually, I won't spoil it too much, I don't want to anyway, censor sort of certain terms that you can't use anymore. You have to make sure that the frequency stays on key. You have to make sure that you don't show nudity at certain points. You have to make sure your camera changes are moving in the right ways. Other things you have to do, you have to pick certain images. So if a presenter says something about something or someone, you have to pick out a choice of A, B, or C, for example, what image you would like to show, and that choice that you give, I believe, would make a difference to the game. But it's almost like, it reminds me of Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. You know, the bomb puzzle game. You have to describe to your friends what to press. And as it goes through, more and more puzzles on the bomb emerge. And as the game progresses, more and more sort of puzzles and things you have to juggle at the same time. So you're trying to keep track of your ratings, and you're trying to keep track of your cameras, but then you've got to make sure there's a swear word being censored, and make sure you get the adverts out on time. So much going on, and the room spins using A and D and S to look under your desk and stuff. But there's always things being added, and it's a game you really have to concentrate. Everything's happening at the same time. It overloads your brain, and you've got to keep calm. I've lost my shit a couple of times just because I've had too much to juggle, and you just think, all right, I'm about to lose the channel. So once your approval rating just becomes so low because you keep cocking things up and things like that, then you lose. But I managed to keep it together so far. I don't even think I'm halfway through this game, to be honest. But I played, I think, over 3 hours now, and I thought, well, this is a good time to review it. I absolutely love it. I think it's absolute genius. The characters are all unique, and they are good actors. They're good actors, but they're all just completely. They've all got massive personalities. They're all very over the top as to who they're supposed to be playing. You know, the snobby news presenter, the slightly drunk politician, and yeah, it takes the mick out of itself, but it does it so well from a story point of view, and to incorporate that into your gameplay, which is where all these sort of juggling juggling sort of activities in the studio come in. And you can imagine maybe a real studio, not that I've ever been in one, is a bit like that. You have to balance so many balls in the air at the same time. But this is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to rate this very highly. I actually can't think of anything wrong with it at all. I want to, but I actually can't. I mean, it's not perfect, because that would be like, I don't want to give anything a perfect rating. I don't really want to give anything 10 necessarily. But for me, this is as close to perfection as possible. But I can't find anything that's specifically bad about the game, or anything that I would say, well, no, they've got that wrong. There's a couple of puzzles which maybe don't make too much sense. I mean, there's a music band on or singer on, and you can move the cameras around in sync with the music. It's supposed to buff you or something in the way of your ratings. I find that a bit annoying. So, for example, you have to sort of press 1, 2, 3, 4 for cameras 1, 2, 3, 4 and keep that in time, and your cameras are flicking around quite considerably just to keep in time with the music, and I don't think that would necessarily happen in real life. I don't like that particular juggling act, but that's me really trying to find something. But it looks great too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not much in the way of graphics, but it's enough. I mean, you're trying to control a TV station and run your life at the same time and make the right decisions and go from there. But this has replayability as well, and I'm going to continue to play this. It's absolutely superb. And another feature I must say that I really love is at the end of each, I would say, mission, or each day or session that you've been at work, you can choose to see the streams that you've created. So there's 2 cameras predominantly. There's the one that's live, real time, and there's the one that's actually going out on air, which is a couple of seconds after that one. And you can't hear everything at the same time. You can adjust the volume, but at the end of the game or the end of the level, you can actually see and concentrate fully on whatever of those images or camera or footage or video that you want to watch in full, and you can actually hear what you've done, where you've censored it. You can see the camera choices you've made. So it's a really good way of reviewing your work, and thoroughly entertaining. There's hours and hours and hours of fun here. Superb game. Can't recommend it enough. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.